War has been in the news and on our minds. War is almost universally accepted when we have an enemy, both for individuals and for nations, so we all know a lot about waging war. We know the sacrifices, the courage, we know the danger, and we know the price too often paid. I didn't know that you had like exactly 20 seconds. I found that out tonight. War often comes to us in the guise of liberation and just causes. And as such, war litters the landscape of history. It has many people who advocate it, and it has many expert teachers. We have Sun Tzu's Art of War, Musashi's Book of Five Rings, the examples of Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Stalin, Mao, Hitler, Idi Amin, Mugabe, al-Bashir, Botha, Washington, Lincoln, Patton, Powell, the Navy SEALs. With all its promises of peace and freedom, wars have been fought bravely and nobly, but more war, not peace, is always its fruit. Religions, too, promise paths to peace, but they likewise bring their own brand of cruel war to us. Jihad, Sharia, Inquisitions, Crusades, Old Testament conquest of Canaan to the 67 War, Hindu and Buddhist caste systems. To be fair, some religious people have tried nonviolent alternatives to war. Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa. But one voice uniquely proposed, love your enemies. Now that is a revolutionary idea. But are we ready to wage love and not war? Climbing the ladder is a way of life played out in every culture. It's what we do by nature. But this teacher turned our way of life upside down when he honored the poor, not the wealthy, the weak, not the strong, and the meek, not the belligerent. You see, war is the symptom. The disease is what's bred in our hearts, where we all want to be the most important, the center. We want to be, as it were, the bride and not the bridesmaid. But he said, he that will be the greatest among you, let him be your servant. To fight this disease, we must also confront our desire for the comfort of bigger homes, the prestige of nicer cars, the security of better jobs. It isn't that we aren't willing to make sacrifices. We make sacrifices all the time, sacrifices of the ones we love, the people close to us. And we do that for what will never be enough, what will never satisfy. Here, as we normally live in the center of our private universe, we seek to preserve our life and to enrich ourselves. He suggested we turn this ladder upside down. His followers remind us of things like submit to one another, esteem others better than ourselves. Kind of un-American, eh? This is what we expend our life for often. When this is what we live for, we're not only at war with others, but also with ourselves, never finding rest as we compete for more, and no amount never enough. What if we were to extend our grid in the directions that he taught? We could move towards building relationships and giving of our time. But if here we still cling to our wealth and positions, we'll simply use people, manipulate them, to make ourselves look good, always looking for the photo op. We sense the hollowness in this kind of attention. Carole King sang, "You are so vain, I bet you think this song is about you." We like their attentions, but we don't trust these kind of people. Extending the grid in the other direction, we become generous with possessions. We think ourselves above others. Our sense of superiority comes across paternalistic. It breeds resentment. A person like this is likely to join churches, causes, fundraisers, protests. We want to stay away from them, though. We want something between us and them. If we were to combine selflessness with our time, unselfishness with our money, stop climbing the ladder, stop fighting the wars. Here, we're known and we know store clerks, neighbors, beggars. We may have little, but only the poor have enough to give. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? What if we found generosity and forgiveness on our roads? What if we stopped competing for an extra light or an extra lane change? How many deaths might be prevented? War doesn't bring peace, it doesn't heal differences, it doesn't make a better world. It has collateral damage. Don't think you're above this just because you're not a hater. There's worse things than haters. Looking the other way is just so safe, isn't it? The opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. The opposite of war is not peace, it's love. The Strategic Air Command slogan is, "Peace is our profession." I was proud of it. They're correct. Peace requires a preparation and willingness to go to war. More than pursuing peace, more than withholding hate, I invite you to follow him in the dangerous but promising path of waging love.